Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Live Inspired Podcast Monday Morning Moments with John O'Leary. I'm going to begin this one with a fact that very few people know about me. You ready? I only cried once during high school. That's right, only once. And no, it was not the first time my mom dropped me off at high school. It wasn't when I saw my first report card, received my first demerit, experienced my very first detention. It wasn't even when a friend accidentally ran over my foot, breaking it in the parking lot, or when none of my friends stood up to a bully making fun of my hands. Nope, it wasn't any of those times. The one time I cried during high school was in theology class. On that day, our teacher rolled a television and a VCR into the room. For the younger listeners, you'll have to Google it. The lights were dimmed, and together we watched a movie called The Mission. Set during the 1700s in Uruguay, the film is packed with spectacular scenery, stunning music, and exceptional acting. It's awesome. It follows the lives of Jesuit missionaries, the local people they encounter, and the global forces wrestling for power. And although the entire film is incredibly emotional, there's a particularly poignant scene that moved a teenage boy years ago to cry. Portraying Captain Rodrigo Mendoza, Robert De Niro attempts to make amends for a life poorly spent. He regrets the innumerable atrocities he committed as a soldier. He feels grief that he persecuted and enslaved the local people. And most recently, he bears the weight of recently murdering his brother in a fit of rage. His heart aches for new life, but he can't fathom how to begin that. So for penance, he travels with several Jesuit missionaries, scaling rocks, navigating rivers, and ultimately climbing the Guerra Falls, all while tugging the armor he once wore proudly as a tethering weight behind him. That metal mass that he is tugging makes moving nearly impossible, and it becomes more strenuous as they climb the mountain toward the very people that he once persecuted, the very people he once enslaved. As he finally ascends the mountain, the native population immediately recognize him as the one who persecuted them and enslaved them. So they approach to murder their former captor. Yet, seeing De Niro on his knees, sweating, bleeding, filthy, weak, one of the men takes his knife away from De Niro's neck and instead, here's the part, cuts the rope attaching the weight to his body. The man then grabs that weight, takes the armor, and throws it right off the waterfall. Recognizing he's been freed of the weight he's been carrying, De Niro begins weeping. First, I think he's weeping in sadness, then in relief, and then ultimately in unabashed joy. My friends, even as a 15-year-old boy watching this, I knew De Niro wasn't the only one lugging weight around in his life. The weight I dragged back then daily included mistakes I'd already made, struggles faced, scars bore, confidence lost, and hope, sometimes and maybe even many times, waning. And even today, decades later, married with children, savoring a wonderful life, I still feel the tug reinforcing mistakes that I've made, people that I've let down, words that I've spoken in anger, brokenness that sometimes fills my life. And yet, I also realized the freedom of allowing that rope to be cut, that weight, those armor, those memories of who we thought we were, to be tossed off the waterfall and into the water below. So brothers and sisters, family and friends, as we step into our weeks, let's be aware of the mistakes we've made. Be cognizant of the weight we carry still, and be clear that letting go isn't about changing what happened yesterday. You can't. It's really about being liberated to more fully live today, and maybe even more importantly, to more fully love tomorrow. And yeah, if you think about it, that's probably something worth crying about. My friends, I want to thank you for being part of our Live Inspired podcast family. And I want to encourage you to recognize the weight you've been tugging up the hill is worth cutting, throwing down, and recognizing that God is still God, the foundation's still firm, and the best is yet to come. So for this time, and until next time, my name is John O'Leary. Today is your day. Be liberated and live inspired.